Here you are, Martin. I've got the crankshaft, all the bearings all done, new gasket, new lay shaft. Luckily enough it turned up with my mate's gear that he sent me. Your bearing in the first gear bearing, all new bearings throughout on the other side. If I can lift it gently, there you are, all nice and clean, all plated. I've even plated the studs. I took the studs out, cleaned them up, been using an amateur plating kit. I've zinc plated the nuts and bolts on the heads so they won't rust later on. New seal, new bearing. Notice I didn't crack it this time. Then I've also put a new bearing in here. I've lined this up, but also this here doesn't seem to line up, the kickstart and the spline, so that will need looking at later on. That's a spare conrod, by the way, for the other bike, before you ask. And there's your new nuts on the actual studs that have been plated again. I also went and plated the end of this one here, so then that didn't rust either. So as you can see, it's all nice, bright, shiny. So there's the clutches sorted out with new clutch plates in. Two clutches, one have obviously been filed. And there's a new sprocket. Notice the joystick attached to calm me down. There's the selector forks, which I don't know what the hell goes in the gearbox, which I've got to try, because there is one odd selector in there which is throwing me out a bit. So I've got to sort that out. Your new keyway. I found a new wrist pin bearing at the Jumbo. The nut is not a good story. I went and put the nut on the crankshaft, and the actual threads now are shot. So I need if you've got one, I need a crankshaft half. If not, I'm going to have to put the whole assembly in the lathe with a rubber band around the conrod, spin it, and then turn off, weld up, and then turn off this, and then rethread it on a right hand thread. I've really that upset me this morning a hell of a lot, because I've messed that up, so I'm sort of a bit fed up about that. So I've regenerated the kickstart. I took this off, put it in the lathe, welded it up, span it, turned it off, reamed out the kickstart and fitted it so then it would fit, if you know what I mean, a clearance fit. New barrel, which I found at a Jumbo. Cylinder head sandblasted, resprayed. Bolts, the bolts have been replated again, as you can see. They're all nice and shiny. I've done them myself, zinc plating. Then I put the studs in with Loctite and put the gasket on temporarily with the nuts, just to flatten the gasket. There's the gasket you sent, thank you ever so much. And there's the rest of it. There's a bull tackle engine there, begging to be put together. Brand new forks that you sent me, and at that time, thank you again ever so much. The front wheel all rebuilt with the wheel rim anodised again, re-anodised and polished. New rocker arm that you sent, again thank you. New airbox that you did send me. All new bolts and fasteners and fittings throughout. And I need to get a seat cover and a sponge or foam. So it's coming together, but it's taken a while. There's new plastics there, as you can see, luckily enough. So the only thing I have got to strip and do is the front mudguard, which is over there on top of all those generators. The rear wheels all been built, ready to go, with a new sprocket on. And the swinging arm, well, that needs mending. I don't remember that at the time, but he was cracked along there, so he needs beach welding. And the torque rod arm, I got the torque rod arm. The exhaust I bought off of a chap at a scramble, luckily enough, with the silencer. So I've got the original silencer and pipe, which is rare. And as you can see under there, looking very sick, is Greg Anson's 500 RM. 1984, I do believe. It's one of those I need from my 1985, like that. And you say they're unobtainable, so I shall have to look for one of those. There's a brand new carb for Greg Anson's bike, 500, which I got, which the engine is in underneath there, which is I can't get to, but it's all in boxes and oiled up, so it's quite safe. There's the forks, and MXA told me that they will redo the seats and all the decals and graphics and the tank cover that Greg Anson had on that bike, so that's good news. Oh, for this one here, by the way, I've got my shock, which is underneath the table there, and that's my shock that I've got to get done for this bike. I have got a spare shock if anyone's listening to this, so I keep all the new parts that you send me. Thank you again. All in this box here, and also I've got all my cables and everything here all ready to go on. And my father have become very adept at copying these. This is one he's made. You can see that, he's done a very good job to that. Amazing job actually so far. And that one there as well, that plate. He's got those manufacturers on himself as well. So just now it takes the hands on to put it all together. So, but I don't know if you've got another crankshaft half or no, but I'm in dire need. It's looking very nice actually, as you can see. The only thing that perhaps will be a bit tatty and will be on all of them will be the petrol tank. Unfortunately, it's took a fair old battering, and it needs rubbing down with fine. And then I found a secret. What you do is you get it takes a bit of guts, but you get the heat gun about a ½ inch off the tank and putting on full blast and just moving very quickly. And with that, it remelts the top of the plastic, and then changes the colour again back to the dark yellow, the finola yellow, is it? So, and I've also converted this pin as well that you sent me. I rethreaded the end nut and put the nut on for the rocker arm. All right.